Happy Friday, everybody. 55 degrees out there. Going to be a nice day. You're looking at, actually, we're on Highland Street, so we're looking west towards Pawtucketville and the Highlands. And that's the Thorndike Exchange. That's the lit up building over here. They have that Jade restaurant there and a few other restaurants in there. This is the Rogers School over here. With you in a couple of minutes. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. My co-host, Eileen Delrossi, is phoning it in. Is that still an expression these days?
Yeah, phoning it in. But I don't think people really use it anymore.
Oh, okay.
But as soon as you said that, I just pictured a payphone.
On the phone this morning is Eileen Delrossi. Melanie Gilbert's coming at 7. Eileen, you coming or no later on?
Are you having a...
Yes, once Anthony gets off is good on the bus.
Dandy. Okay, please proceed, Cliff.
All right, you're okay. So today would be the 87th birthday of the first host, George Anthes. And tomorrow we have Tewksbury elections. Polls open at 8 and close at 8. So go vote. It's a Saturday. voting's important. It's the only way to deal with
So
politicians.
George Anthes was the same age as Ned Termy,
Okay.
I think. I think Ned just turned 87, like last month.
Low of 43 today, high of 63, and now it was sports coat weather when I came in.
A little breezy out there, too.
Precipitation tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. There you go.
It's going to rain. Opening day for the Red Sox, whoop-de-doo. Was that coming up shortly?
No. So,
Anthony and I are going to go to the game on Monday night at the for the Red Sox because you can get a free Jaron Duran bobblehead.
Now, are you driving down, training down there?
We just got the tickets last night, so I really haven't thought about it, but I'll probably leave work to pick Anthony up at school in Newton. And then I don't know if maybe we should take some transportation, like, from that area.
I don't know. I haven't been to a Red Sox game in a long time.
Yeah. My head, my head hasn't even gone there about the logistics of getting in
Okay.
on Monday.
All right. Well, something to think about later. So that means you're skipping Monday Night Dinner Club.
What'd you say?
You're not coming to Monday Night Dinner Club.
I'm not coming in on Monday. No, I'll be there on Monday morning.
no,
Mon-
Monday Night Dinner Club.
Oh, yes, I have to put my not attending. Thank you.
What a busy chick. Continue, please.
Okay, in the year 611, the Mayan king Una Chan sacked the rival city of Palenque in southern Mexico. So there were dynastic activities in Mexico in the year 611. In the year 1660, the Declaration of Breda by Charles II of Great Britain promised, among other things, a general pardon to all royalists and opponents of the monarchy for crimes committed during the English Civil War and the interregnum. So that's while the Massachusetts Bay Colony was getting its feet on the ground. In 1841, William Henry Harrison dies of pneumonia, becoming the first president to die in office and setting the record for the briefest administration. Vice President John Tyler succeeded. And in 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated by James Earl Ray at a
By who?
James Earl Ray
James? Okay, gotcha.
at a motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And in 1969, Dr. Denton Cooley implants the first temporary artificial heart. And in 2009, France announces its return to full participation of its military forces within NATO. And today is NATO Day. So there you are, a little piece of history.
All righty.
We'll get back to history.
Dandy.
So, Eileen, did we discuss earlier that Rosie O'Donnell has become an election denier?
Did you just say an election denier?
Yes.
I think maybe on Monday.
Yeah, probably
I
did.
think we were talking a little bit about her, but she moved to Ireland. Is that right?
Right.
Eileen, are you still in bed?
No, I'm actually not. I just feel like this week was just the longest week, starting with Monday, which was still March 31st, still in March, and then we had 2 meetings this week, and it's just been like nonstop with just life. And I went to Danielle McFadden's party last night, and
I knew I had something to do last night. I completely forgot to go. How was it?
I know, I was surprised you weren't there because you always go to those.
Well, I'm sitting there saying, I'm supposed to be someplace. I got to put this stuff in my phone. So, how was the crowd?
The crowd was pretty good. I couldn't really stay very long because I had to get home because Anthony and my mom's not feeling good, and I needed to make sure she ate. But she had a pretty good crowd for her at large. I didn't even really get to stay until the point that they did all the talking on her platform. But can I tell you, maybe when I grow up, I want to be like her, because she, at every table, she had each school in Lowell, like, that represented Lowell. I sat at the table with Paul Rathayam and Kim Scott, and it was the Butler. The next table was the Maury. And then she had books, like school books and pencils as centerpieces. I look at Kim Scott, and I'm like, oh my word. And that is amazing. I want to be like that. But and then she had this bingo game for everyone to play to get to know everybody from Lowell. So, and then there was some really great food they had out. Chicken wings, meatballs, sandwiches, cheese and crackers.
Good.
Okie doke. So,
I'm on our Facebook page. There's no video or pictures from last night yet. So sorry I missed that party. I had every intention of going. It just completely fell off my radar.
Yeah, I actually forgot until I got home, and I was like, oh, it's March 3rd. March 3rd, April 3rd.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad you went. Thank you.
So, I saw where Hillary Clinton has commenced her political comeback. Do you think she's a real player?
Hillary?
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah, I think she's kind of cooked.
Yeah.
She had a blistering op-ed in the New York Times a few days ago, where she talked about the Trump administration and the use of the Signal chat application. And was condemning the Trump administration for that.
Oh, the situation with Pete Hegseth?
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to do that both sides, I would say. And any little bit of dirt, they're going to make a lot bigger than it. I don't think there were any major issues that stemmed from it, were there?
I don't think so. So here's an item that'll make John happy. Back in October of 2023, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill for a speed safety system pilot program authorizing cities to issue tickets via speed cameras.
I'm happy for this.
You are. What about the second part, John? Where they're going to issue speeding tickets based on income?
How do they know how much money you make and how much money I make?
I suspect that in my case, I file income tax.
And which is privileged information not dispersed to anybody. That's what states tell you and the federal government tells you.
Well,
so how do they find out how much money you make?
because they're part of the government.
No, the IRS doesn't share.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. So you think that they just can't know?
What state is this that's doing this?
California.
California. Well, they're crazy out there anyway. The government is. A lot of nice people out there, very frustrated with the government.
So tickets range from $50 to $500, but those with household incomes at or below 200% of the federal poverty level are eligible for a 50% discount. Indigent and homeless individuals are eligible for an 80% discount.
Well, being California, it's lucky they're not giving the homeless the $50. We catch you speeding, we give you $50. That's how crazy California politics are.
Okay. So is anybody following the release of the JFK files?
When it was reported, there's nothing new. But then video of the driver actually shooting the president, the driver of the limousine turning around and shooting the president, was a puzzling video to watch for me.
Ah, so the security guard did it.
Oh, the Secret Service driver of the limo in the video that I saw has a handgun, turns around with his left hand and takes out President Kennedy.
That wouldn't be the first case of that happening. That's how Huey P. Long, governor of Louisiana, died.
Did you see that video, Cliff?
No.
Okay. Did Eileen, did you see that video? She's busy. Never mind.
Which video? Which video are we talking about?
There's a video out there of President Kennedy's limousine driver shooting the president in the limousine in Texas. Did you see that video?
Oh, no, I've never seen that. But who was that? Was that the Brady from was his last name Brady?
Brady was the guy who got taken down when Reagan got the attempt to kill Reagan.
Oh, okay. All right. Who was the guy that shot at the shooter that shot JFK?
Jack Ruby.
And was he found right away?
Yeah, he was right there in amongst the police when he did it.
Now, here's my history issues. Was he still alive, or did they kill him?
He was tried and convicted. I can't remember if he got the death penalty, but I think
Ruby?
Jack Ruby.
Oh, I thought they killed him too.
Maybe they did.
They what?
John thinks they shot him on the spot.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So there's apparently an ABC video that shows.
Hey, does that mean Cliff doesn't know something exactly that happened in history? Whoa. John, McDonough, can you Google it? What happened after President Kennedy was assassinated? Was the suspect found, or
What
was he
happened
found
to
and
Jack
killed?
Ruby?
Yeah. So anyway, there's an ABC video that supposedly shows Lee Harvey Oswald near Kennedy and thus not in a position to be the shooter from the textbook facility.
Cliff's 100% right. As usual, after shooting and killing Lee Harvey Oswald on live television, Jack Ruby was arrested, convicted of murder, and sentenced to death, though the sentence was later overturned on appeal. However, he died of pulmonary embolism in 1967 before a new trial could occur.
Wait, and what role did Lee Harvey Oswald play?
He killed Kennedy. He's the shooter.
But where does Jack Ruby come in? Oh, Jack Ruby was the security guard.
No, Jack Ruby owned a bar, and he was so upset that he just went and shot Lee Harvey Oswald as he was coming out of the.
So patrol things happen.
Yeah.
Eileen, what year were you born?
80.
So it's like when I talk to some kids nowadays and they don't know about 9/11. Boy, you know 9/11. Uncle John.
No, and we
what's
live-
9/11?
well,
What's 9/11?
And what I've noticed with my students is that their parents don't even want to talk about 9/11 or anything bad that happened that moved our country in certain directions because they don't want their child to be exposed to anything bad.
But there's bad stuff out there.
That there is at the end of the day.
Like school committees.
So look at Eileen. Last night, Danielle McFadden's party. Did they have food?
Yeah, you didn't hear me talk about it? I was just saying they had amazing chicken wings.
No, you said you had to leave early. You said I couldn't stay. I
She
had to
said
leave.
chicken wings, meatballs, and something else.
She already said this? How did I
Yep.
miss this? Jeez. Sorry I missed the party.
Yeah, it was really good. But before I left, I had a plate of food. I had cheese and crackers, the meatballs, the chicken wings, and
So
what else?
was it eat and run deal with you?
Yeah, I mean, I stayed for a little bit, and then there was too much going on. I had to get home.
So, one last point about Lee Harvey Oswald. I saw something in the last week that suggested that he shot Kennedy in order to impress his wife. They were having strained relationships, and
That didn't work out well.
he decided to try and impress her by shooting.
Was it strained or strange relationship?
Well, I'd go with both. He was married to a Russian woman from the time when he had defected to the Soviet Union before he returned to the United States.
Huh.
I think her name was Maria or something like that.
Okay.
Did you see any protests here on college campuses from pro-Palestine activists about the beating death of a man in Gaza who had been protesting Hamas?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I have not.
John Curtis, who claims to be an authority,
All right.
as a person who has studied the assassination of JFK, the limo driver did not shoot him. What you see on the video is shadow and not a handgun being held by the driver. It's long-held conspiracy theory by many. Thank you for your comment. Back over to you.
That makes sense to me, John. Thank you. So it's not really like the Huey
he
P.
says.
Long case.
So he says.
Yeah, and so I agreed with him.
Good boy.
You know Huey P. Long, governor of Louisiana. He was a threat to FDR's reelection. He was in the Capitol going up the stairs, and somebody pulled a gun on him, and one of his guards, who was supposed to be protecting him, ended up shooting Long, not the would-be assassin. Huey P. Long, the Kingfisher. There was a famous book that came out on it long before Eileen's time called All the King's Men. So anyway, this Palestinian protester, Uday al-Rabi, 22-year-old, was protesting and got beaten to death, and then his body was dumped in his family's front steps. So there are some problems going on there. This goes to John's plea for teaching finance in school. The U.S. could hit the debt ceiling as early as mid-July, a study shows. This is the Bipartisan Policy Center, that they're going to have to increase the debt ceiling or the government's going to shut down. This is all based upon the amount of tax revenue collected and the amount of spending. Spending cuts by the Department of Government Efficiency could impact what's going on. They're up to a reported savings up to $250 billion so far. That's not bad.
Well, it'd be interesting how long this is going to continue. They say that Elon Musk is going to skedaddle. He's going to be gone. All over European news. So just FYI, he's not going to be around much longer. So we got a comment from the audience. Jack Ruby was a mob associate.
Oh.
Jack Ruby was born in Chicago and went down to Texas and opened a bunch of nightclubs. So maybe he was connected.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, can we go back to this Jack Ruby thing? And
Yeah.
thank you, John, for saying that. All right, I kind of follow it. But so, Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy, and then Jack Ruby found him?
No, what happened was, I was going to get the video up to show you, but you can't see. They had the perp walk is what it's called, where they have the suspect, they parade the suspect when he's going to go to court in front of all the TV cameras. And because
Okay.
Jack Ruby owned a bunch of strip clubs. They were nightclubs, but he had a few strip clubs too. So he was popular amongst the men in the community. So he was able to get by security because he was popular amongst the men in the community. So he got up close and he had his gun on him and he had planned on shooting him 3 times, but he only shot him twice. And it was all on live TV.
Oh, my word.
Oh, yeah.
So later on, if you're goofing off, get on YouTube and say Lee Harvey, just say Jack Ruby shoots Oswald, and the video will come up, and you can put that in your memory bank.
All right. Thank you for my history lesson this morning.
But I think I'll go find that video and show it to the audience, because we probably have some kiddos out there who were born in the '80s, like Eileen. What did you
Well.
say?
Yeah, that fits within your job description.
I remember learning, like, Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK. I remember learning that, but I honestly don't really remember learning what happened with Jack Ruby. That's why it kind of threw out a different name to me, and I was like, wait, what? And so it's interesting. Maybe that's something that they didn't want to teach us when we were younger, that even after you're arrested, things like that can happen.
That's true. Or maybe they just didn't have time.
Right, I got the video up, and now if you take a look at your TV screen, you're going to see what happened.
All right, hold on. Let me put my YouTube on so I can watch it, but I'll put it on silent.
Run this thing back to where you see him do his thing there. So that's, this is Jack Ruby right here. This is Lee Harvey
Okay.
Oswald. The expression on his face is from receiving the first bullet. And this is a cop. I think he's a big shot cop because he's not in uniform. But this was in the police headquarters. And they were just walking the guy to a van. The van's over to the left to bring him to the courthouse. And I think it's referred to as the perp walk. And I'll hit play. These are stills. And I got no audio turned on this either. I don't know who this guy is. He likes to eat his finger. And we saw this video. They played this video over and over and over. Amazing what happened on live TV. I don't know who this guy is.
Oh, wow.
But even back then, they could take a frame and solidify it. Because that's an up-high shot.
I'm going to have to get into it later.
So back to you, Cliff.
Okay. So
Oh, so.
the news came out like it was a shock to anybody that the FBI silenced internal discussion on Hunter Biden's laptop prior to the 2020 election. So they sat on the knowledge that the Hunter Biden laptop story was credible and barred employees from saying so. So this was weeks ahead of the election when the New York Post dropped a possible election altering bombshell report about the damning contents of Hunter Biden's laptop. And in 2022, there was a poll that found a supermajority of Americans believed that President Donald Trump would have won re-election. That election cycle had voters known that the Post story was true. And think of that.
Well, Cliff,
Trump would be gone by
on the
now.
other hand,
Yeah.
Donald tried to cover up Stormy's story. So there's a lot of cover-ups that go on during an election. This is from John Curtis. Security was tighter than Tom's thumb's butt at Dallas Police Headquarters, yet somehow Ruby was able to get into the basements. Someone didn't want Oswald going to trial. John, as I already stated, Ruby was very well connected with the police. The police knew who he was, and they let him in. It was the Dallas police mistake. And they let in a trusted guy, and that's how Ruby got in there. Fact.
John,
Look it up.
I don't think that it's a equal comparison that Donald Trump gets an agreement with somebody about not talking about a story and the FBI deliberately misleading the public about a story.
Yeah.
One's a voluntary agreement, the other is election interference.
Like I used to ask the late, great George Anthes, who got fired? Did anybody get fired?
No.
They're the people who can't get fired. Another comment from the audience. Pull it up a little higher here. Watch Michael Fanisi podcast. He explains Jack Ruby's mob ties. The Dallas police were on the mob's payroll. Ooh. I never knew that one. Back to you, Cliff.
No, that's not a good piece of news. So The case of the federal judge down in D.C. Barring deportations of illegal immigrants, District Chief Judge James E. Bosbang is not happy that he thinks that the Trump administration has been trying to work around his rules. He'd ordered three aircraft turned around that were on their way to El Salvador. One, which was still in the United States, did turn around. The other two went on their way.
First, I'm hearing they turned one around. I didn't know that.
They were not U.S. military aircraft. They were civilian aircraft. And I'm not sure that fellow judges should be saying turn aircraft around unless they know what the total situation is with the aircraft.
I don't think they said turn the aircraft around. They said bring the plane back here. And I think that's
What's the
probably,
difference?
I don't think the word turn around was used. I just think that the judge said bring the plane back. And nobody has the guts to speak to a judge. If you ever go to court, they treat the judge like he or she is God.
Yeah.
And one of my late great friends got involved, and the judge was a schoolmate of his in high school. And the judge was condemning him over his divorce. And he said, why don't you get out of that black robe? Let's go out back and we'll settle this like we did in high school. And the whole court went like, is that assault on you, Your Honor? Your Honor, is that an assault?
What did the judge do?
He changed his attitude towards my friend and granted the divorce.
I almost got a chance to explain to someone about where no-fault divorce came from, but then the conversation went another way.
Well, enlighten the audience. No fault divorce.
Yeah, when I was in high school, one of
Back in the Wayback Machine.
the Wayback Machine, one of the nicest parents who used to, his daughter was on the debate teams as I was. He used to come to all the debates. He'd bring his somewhat older secretary who was in a wheelchair. I think she was in her late 50s or something.
Yeah.
She was wheelchair bound. He'd make sure she'd get out. Always supportive of people, a great guy. And then he gets elected to state rep. And he files the no-fault divorce bill. And what makes that stranger than normal to me is he was Mormon. He'd married his wife in the temple. That's a big deal in Mormonism. But I met the wife once at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was delivering the daughter's viola to the house because that was one of the few days I actually had a car in high school. And she looked like the wreck of the Hesperus. It just...
Oh, wait a minute, Cliff. I'm going to have to go to Google to find out what the heck you're talking about. You never heard that word before, the wreck of the Hesperus? Cliff, I could go on 495, stop all the traffic, stick
Eileen.
a microphone in their window and say, have you ever heard of this? And then
Eileen?
they'll say no.
Hello, Eileen. Hello.
Yeah, what's up, Cliff?
John had never heard the expression, the wreck of the Hesperus.
Yeah, me neither. No clue.
No clue. Did you go to school in Lowell?
Yes?
Huh. I hope as a school committee member you're doing something to upgrade the quality of education.
Oh, I tried to. I got a history curriculum that was missing grades 3 through 7, but they said it was only a sample.
Ah,
Remember that?
oh yeah.
But I
It's-
don't know.
It seems the Hesperus was a ship,
It was.
and there was a blizzard in 1839. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow poem was inspired by the blizzard of 1839, which ravaged the North Shore for 12 hours in December of 1839. 20 ships and 40 lives were lost.
What did I play? Something
Well,
free?
whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, except for the 40 lives lost, they thought it was bigger than whoop-de-doo.
There's the Hesperus right there.
Oh,
And it was a schooner.
Mr. Jones, thank you so much for trading.
So
yep.
I think you should drop that term, Cliff. The wreck of the Hesperus. Leave it go. Because when did it happen? 18 when? 39?
39.
1839. 40 people died.
That was a real winter storm, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they didn't have the forecasting they once did and that we have nowadays. And sailors weren't as educated as they are today in 1839. They probably didn't even have sailing school. Were you around in 1839? I don't think so.
No.
Can you imagine how well the schooling was for a ship captain?
Actually, that brings up an interesting point. Are you still there, Eileen? Because
What's up?
I'm under the impression that education in the 1800s may have been better than education today.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Nah.
What makes
Today's education is fantastic because we have computers. You can look stuff up. You can get. I mean, if the wreck of the Hesperus, never heard of it before, and now I know exactly what it is, and it took me 1 minute. Education is much, much better than it ever has been. That's my view.
Okay. So anyway,
Another order?
the judge,
Dunks. Oh, you already ordered.
somebody noted that the actions of this judge down in Washington, interfering with the president's activities, was similar to the actions of the Democrats in the 1850s, which eventually led to 1861. That would not be a good precedent, do you think?
Cliff, we've got a question from the audience. Did Cliff have school on that day back in 1839?
No, there was a terrible winter storm and school was canceled.
Good to know. The wreck of the Hesperus.
Yeah.
Weren't there other, this said there were 40 boats, and this schooner gets all the joy, gets all the fanfare, the billboard time. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote about it.
Yeah.
Well, what about the other 39 boats?
No, 19 boats.
All right.
40 dead,
Thank
20
you for
boats.
enlightening me. So what happened to the other 19? Mr. Know-It-All?
I have no idea.
Okay.
John, were you following the news about New Jersey Senator Cory Booker setting a
Blabbermouth?
a new record, 24 hours and 18 minutes?
That's the best thing the Democrats have done all year. The sore losers. Did he speak about why they're such a sore loser? Do you know anything that he said?
Nothing.
Ask Eileen, does she know anything that Booker said in the 25 hours that he spoke?
Eileen,
Yes.
do you know anything that Cory Booker actually talked about when he gave his long speech on the Senate floor?
No. It was Cory Booker, and what long speech did he give?
He was running for president. Didn't he run for president, Cliff? Booker?
I think so. And for sure, I think he's running in 2028.
Okay, and so he goes down as the biggest blabbermouth in Washington, D.C. ever.
Yes, that's true. So I think he beats Strom Thurmond's record. So
Well, he beat everybody's record.
yeah,
This is the good one. I chuckled when I read this one. Stretch out a little bit, I gotta blow it up. This guy just won't let go. In 1839 was the last time Fairmount Street was paved.
Jay.
Jay won't let go. He wants Fairmount Street done. Thanks, Jay.
So looking at the statistics, it looks like non-Caucasians are drifting away from the Democratic Party.
Who are non-Caucasians?
Blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans.
Why do they continue to separate Americans? They're all Americans.
Because they
right?
think they benefit from it.
See, when I vote for somebody, I vote for the best American for the job. I don't care about gender. I don't care about political party. I don't care what their favorite donut is. I don't care about any of that stuff. I vote for the best American for the job.
You're a hero to me.
Good to know.
But there is an indication that single cat ladies are definitely Democrats. And
Single cat ladies?
yeah,
Never heard that term before.
okay. I think J.D. Vance brought that to the fore.
Why are they Democrats? They don't take questions like Democrats?
No,
Or Republicans, for that matter.
no, they have a sense that the government's going to take care of them, protect them.
The government does not care about you. The government cares about self-preservation only.
Okay,
Would you disagree?
I wouldn't disagree, but the single cat ladies do.
To think that the government is going to take care of you is a big mistake. The government does not care about you.
Well, it's a big mistake, but yet it's a big part of the demographic.
Who was the president that said the worst things that any government official can say is, we're from the government, we're here to help.
Ronald Reagan.
And he was right, he's right through today.
Now, what was that? The 7 most scary words in the English language?
He may have coined it that way, but I just remember that he said it. Cool stuff. Got 2 comments here. At least know people are paying attention this morning. Trump and his cronies cried for 4 years that the election was stolen in 2020, and the Dems are sore losers. He beat the record of racist stooge. Congrats to Cory Booker. All righty, thank you for your comment. Moving right along here. The Queen of the Senate. Queen? Don't get that. Cory Booker, Crimea River. No one wants a wimpy senator as president. Ooh, so he may have hurt his election chances. So I just got another comment come in. We'll see what this one here says. Oh, they agree with me. That's even better. Gonna put this guy here up there. It's coming at the speed of government. This should be it. Come on, baby, open up. Okay. And this one says, I agree with you, Mr. McDonough. There's only one race, the human race. good way to put it. Thank you. Back over to you, Clifford.
Okay. So Eileen, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Anthony just got off to school.
Good.
So, what types of donuts are we in the mood for? Coconut cream, or are we up for something different, John?
No.
Cliff?
Coconut-covered cream filled, please.
Okay.
Hey, Melanie's coming too, so you might consider getting her a treat too.
Oh yes. I'm gonna get her the coconut cream one. That's my plan.
Wow, good idea.
So do we have an update on the Karen Reed mess?
Oh, it is a hot mess. Juror selection this week. And it's just so much prejudicial stuff on the Commonwealth side. I don't know how people can think that any of this is normal. It's so blatantly obvious that all the things that they're saying did not happen actually did happen, but it's more like what they didn't do besides what they actually did in the investigation.
Well, that's not good. So did you see where well, at least the Globe reported it, the state medical examiner considers that Sandra Birchmore's death was a suicide?
I know, I saw that. I bet that state examiner is like in such a situation because she had to go off what the detectives told her or whatever. But hold on one second because I have to order.
Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay. So for those who not following, Sandra Birchmore was a young woman who was groomed by some policemen, and she got pregnant from the sex, and then she died.
Did you just say pregnant? She got pregnant from the what?
The sex with the policeman.
That groomed her, and since she was 12 years old, that met in the police explorers program.
Yep.
And then passed her around with his police officer buddies, which is all disgusting. But I think that he's in that prison. He's talking about a lot. And I do have a theory that some of the, that John O'Keefe could have known something about Sandra Birchmore because they were also interconnected with the state police as well. And all the same people that worked on Sandra Birchmore cases are a lot of the same people that worked on Karen Reed's case. And they all have a big connect with the Mass State Police and the Boston police officer, Canton and Stone.
Well, this is just not a very good situation, is it?
No, it's not. It's extremely unique. I mean, but if Karen Reed didn't have the money and the resources to be able to fight this, then she would be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just doesn't add up. Like any of this, like.
Well, what I'd like to put in is it couldn't happen in 2025 with the body cameras. If body cameras were in play, this would be a heck of a different case. Video doesn't lie. With AI, and they proved that when they reversed the first trial, when they reversed the video of her car going in for inspection at the police station, that they should have hung those guys out to dry that reversed the video. Oh, we didn't know we did that. It was deliberate. They knew what they were doing. Crazy.
Okay.
So the other thing that happened this week too is the not Massachusetts, Canton Police had a police audit, an outside investigation police audit that did an investigation into how Canton police do things, and majorly in relation to John O'Keefe, because that was like the major concern. And they found lots of violations, such as they didn't record any of their videos with any of the witnesses. There should have been more witnesses. Certain people on the Canton police should have been recused. It's quite interesting, but they're making it seem like it's no big deal, because a lot of the Canton police now are saying that they feel victimized because they are a Canton police officer.
Yeah, it's a problem. You want to have faith in your police. I feel pretty good about the Lowell police. I'd be very concerned if I thought that they were corrupt and on the take. Then you have to ask yourself, where is justice? And you don't know. So.
Oh, yeah.
So what about, how many minutes out are you, Eileen?
Well, it seems like a busy traffic morning. Bridge Street, garbage trucks.
So you're still in
So
Centerville?
however long it takes me to get through the lights downtown.
Okay.
So are you in Centerville or are you in downtown?
I'm in Centerville right now, trying to get
Okay.
onto the bridge.
Just roll down the window and yell out, "I'm an important person. I have to get to my TV show," and they'll get out of your way.
So,
I'll tell you later when I get there. Actually, never mind.
so how is President Trump doing with regard to peace in Ukraine and Palestine?
Terrible. He said it perfectly the first day. Stop the killing. And it hasn't stopped. And the genocide that's happening to the Palestinians in Israel is devastating. And it's not going to stop. Those people are born to hate each other. I don't have a solution. And it's worse than ex-husband and ex-wife hatred. Comment from the audience. Everyone lies. Cops, judges, elected officials, kids, adults, teachers. And horrible media goes along with it. Jay.
Yeah.
True.
And horrible media, what?
Goes along with it.
Well, and it honestly, what's most interesting about this whole Karen Reed situation, in terms of the overall corruption, it's more or less that what they're making it seem like everybody else has a problem with this investigation, and not that the investigation was actually wrong, and bring things to real light, right? And so all of the little lies anyone in this situation ever told, and the witnesses, has snowballed into big kind of cover-ups that something else definitely did happen. And I get it. Everyone lies, right? But there's a point of like no return sometimes with lying, where everything you say could be a misperception.
Well, I'll quote Abraham Lincoln when his wife turned to him at the White House and says, "Does this dress make me look fat?" What do you think his answer was? The guy who never
No.
lied.
Did
And
he say no?
comment from the audience that says, wait, let's put it back up again. Come on, baby. How come Mr. McDonough doesn't send a limo for Eileen?
Oh, I love that comment from the audience.
They love you. And sorry, kiddo, it ain't happening.
Thank you. And I mean, if you could just read my mind telepathically too, like when, like Anthony just gets picked up, or like me, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I can automatically have an Uber that's already picked up the donuts and the coffee. I mean, or a beautiful limo with with a very hot man letting me in and out and telling me how great and perfect I am. I would just really like that.
So look, we're going to go to break because Melanie's at the door. How far away are you?
Where are you, Eileen?
I'm just turning onto Merrimack Street now.
All righty. We'll see you in a few minutes. We're going to go to break.
Okay. All right, I'll hang up. I'll see you in a few.
Bye-bye.
The reason for the big delay is there are too many donuts in the house. We're with you in a minute.
Look at that.
Your mics are on.
I love you,
Good
Eileen.
morning, everyone.
love
Welcome
you,
to the
Cliff.
City Life Show. I'm Cliff
love you,
Krieger,
John.
your host. Eileen Delrossi is my
Thanks, Melanie.
co-host.
Love you
Look
too.
at that
Look
donut
at this
that she
donut from
has.
Gail Ann's by Melanie.
That's good for breakfast and lunch.
I was
It's
just gonna
warm
say.
and it like just made me so happy.
They don't go cheap, do
The
they?
sprinkles.
And our
I got two of
guest
those.
is Melanie Gilbert from
Good
the
morning.
Lowell Sun. And I wanted to note that today would have been the 87th birthday of former host George Anthes, who I think those of us who knew George miss him.
Yes.
And tomorrow, Tewksbury elections between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And you should vote if you live in Tewksbury. If you don't live in Tewksbury, don't vote. But
Cliff, do I remember this right? Like, I remember you telling me, like, George Anthes was the reason that you got into the blog, The Right Side of Lowell, that you do?
no,
No?
that was, because there was a blog called Left and Lowell. And
Oh,
so,
Are they still around?
no,
Left in Lowell,
no, they're not.
Cliff, is your blog still cooking?
Yes,
The Right Side of Lowell.
I posted something about a week ago. I don't get many comments. I don't post a lot of stuff, but once in a while I post.
Melanie, do you have a blog?
Yes, it's called the Lowell Sun.
Oh, okay. But you don't have a, you don't have,
She posts on the blog every Sunday.
And she
Well,
has
that's
some
true.
serious deadlines with her blog.
Yes, every day, man. I'm cranking it out. I have a good week this week. I had a story in today's paper about that care home, and when you read that story and you read the Athena Corporation's response, because, I try to get in touch with the corporate companies are notorious for not being approachable.
Athena.
It's really hard to find who's in charge. But they got back to me. But I have to tell you, when I read the quote, I felt like it was Chat GPT.
I've been convinced a couple of times when I've called different places that it really sounds like a human, but I swear they're taking everything that I'm saying and coming up with a pre-described answer, which is so scary, and it's been more than months, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw aspersions, is that the word, on their PR person, but when I read that quote, I thought, I wonder if I cut and pasted this into ChatGPT, if it would come up. It wasn't really.
Exactly
It
that.
didn't really answer my questions, but it was broadly, but almost too broadly quoted in a way. So anyways, when you read that article, you'll have to read their response and see what you
It
think.
This
should
is-
take you at least 15 seconds.
today's Lowell Sun is on the screen as you.
Nice, John, I like that. Is that the e-version?
Yes, it is.
I like it.
That's where
Now, let me ask you, a lot of people ask me this question, it's, ask Melanie, ask Melanie. A few weeks ago, a guy was arrested on Dutton Street for shooting a gun.
Oh, at the Tesla, allegedly?
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
I don't know. The crime beat can be frustrating because Aaron will have to cover something in the moment, but then the court stuff can drag out for months. Like his
So is there any
hearing,
truth to the Did he shot at the Tesla or?
I haven't really followed up on that story. I imagine he'd have to, he keeps an Excel spreadsheet of every single crime case he reports on, and then he tries to look it up in the court files to see what's the disposition. And occasionally he'll do a recap.
If he has some goof off time.
Yeah,
What
well,
happened to
true.
this culprit with the gun? Because all the assaults that are happening on Teslas, that's the only one I know of that actually got shot at. It would happen in
Yeah, I don't
Lovely
know if that
Lowell.
was hyperbole, because when you listen to the police scanners, they're, not because the police are wrong, it's just that the witnesses and the information coming in over the police scanner is frequently wrong. Like the initial description is inaccurate. It's incomplete. And because it's incomplete, it's inaccurate. It's not human error, it's just the heat of the moment. So it's hard, and I don't know if he was reporting from the police scanner, or if he, and that's why we typically wait for the court files, so that we can see, oh, okay, what was really argued here? Because then the attorney gets up, and the DA gets up, and the judge weighs in.
We're not hiding the name of someone.
In this case?
Yes.
I don't think so. They don't normally have, when it's a scanner report, because I don't think that was a press release. I think that was through the scanner.
Well, there was a TV station down in Boston that covered it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Lola's. Well, I
About
think
that much.
Yeah, I think it's bad that, you're shooting at cars, but I think that the key piece about that story was that gun. That there's a gun on the streets, and not just any street, on Dutton Street.
Yeah.
Which was more alarming.
It shouldn't be. You're able to
Whether
just.
if he shot at
shoot
a
your
Honda
weapon.
or an Escape, it doesn't matter. The fact that he was, whomever this was shooting. And I don't think it was that late. It was like 5 or
It's not the gun, it's the person was shooting.
who has a gun, yeah. I don't even know where, I know where I could go get a gun, but, do these people really walk into a gun shop and buy a gun?
No, but
You have to have a license.
Right.
I have a license to carry concealed weapon. You don't know if I have a gun or I don't.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is that I don't know how often we report whether, it'll come up in the police report whether it was a licensed gun. And if it wasn't, then that's another charge.
Yeah.
So the police report is really where you get the nuts and bolts of whatever happened.
It seems like nobody even reported on the name of the person who shot the
It might
Tesla.
not have been immediately available, because once the police report to the scene, they don't keep transmitting over the broadcast. They file it internally off their keyboard, they have a computer.
Or they get on their cell phone.
Yeah, right.
But that's happening less and less because of the body cam.
True.
Because if I'm a cop, and I decide, I'm going to call Melanie and tell her all about this story,
I wish you would.
all recorded. It's all
Give me a
recorded.
lead.
I wish more people thought like you, John. Throw me some bones, people.
So we were going to talk about the 311 app.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's been, they logged 1,000 calls or 1,000 entries
Yeah.
in its first week or something crazy. I'm spitballing here, but that was part of the city council meeting. So I think there's a lot of pent up enthusiasm to be able to, reach out and touch somebody to get things done.
Now, Eileen has actually used the tool. The
Yes.
app,
Oh, you did?
right?
What'd you
Yep.
report?
So first off, you have to go to the App Store and
Download
download
it,
the
yep.
Lowell 311 system. Once you download it,
What's it called?
you just have to put in your email address.
Oh, no, how do you find the app? You just type
Oh,
Lowell
Lowell
311?
311.
Okay, good.
Yep. And then once you have it downloaded, I don't know if you can zone in, John, on this.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Let me go with paying attention to what we're doing here. Oh, that's the first move of the camera of the day. Wait a second now.
Okay, so you,
Left is right and right is
I
left.
don't know if it will help if I do this.
I'll get
Okay.
there. Let me drop all the graphics. And now we'll zoom in a better.
And then you tilt it so it doesn't catch the
Oh,
light. There you
perfect.
go. Oh, nice.
So this is what it looks like, and how do I, and the first one down is report an issue. So you click on that, and it says enable, I don't really need to enable my location now, but So you
Oh,
see
cool. It's a
the
departments?
issues, air quality. You have air quality.
Oh, it's by subject matter, right?
Ask a department a general question. Athletic fields. Broken recycling cart. That was mine. And I
Oh.
had a broken trash cart. Just the lid. So they even ask you in there what part of it is broken, and then they ask you what your trash day is, and then like last week I did it last Sunday, and last Tuesday when I got home from work it was fixed.
Wow. Was yours the one that they mentioned in the council meeting?
I don't know, was it?
Yeah, so I
was-
can't remember which counselor said that. Do you live in Centerville?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Corey. And he said, one of my constituents
yeah, I was
used
telling
it
him
and
how
came home
excited
and,
I was.
So the city of Lowell provides the residents their trash and recycling bins, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, in Arlington, we have to buy our own, but they're thinking
No,
about
we
changing
buy
that.
them.
Oh, you do buy
You
them,
have to buy them.
but they're a standard bin
No, no,
provided
no,
by
no,
the
no.
city.
In Lowell, included in the money you pay the city of Lowell is a trash cart and a recycle cart.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
so it's part of the trash and recycling fee.
So you pay for it through your taxes or the fee. In Lowell, money's magically whizzed around. So
And yours magically whizzed right and got you a new top.
you pay for a fee, but you don't own the cart.
Okay.
What does it say? They even have city flag or flagpole issues, city manager.
Oh, that's interesting, because that was a hot button issue of all the flags that were tattered and,
What's this, conservation
flying properly.
commission?
Well-
I think that's a recurring problem.
yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see if this reduces the number of motions every Tuesday. Should we place a nice friendly wager on whether it will? I'm going to say it does not.
There's even like a hypodermic needle and syringe.
Oh,
thing
that's useful, actually.
that you can report. And I know like a
50
lot of
cents.
times people are good at calling,
50.
but I feel like most of the time I don't want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Or figure out who to talk to, right? And I just want to like be able to do it on my phone because that's what life has done for us now.
Well, I like it. It's more efficient.
Oh, and if
I mean,
there's-
this is not really a human touch spot to just do, a hypodermic needle. You shouldn't really, that's what I like about this, is that it should be automated.
They have manhole cover, missed recycling pickup, missed trash pickup you can report.
I wonder how they're
Parks,
tracking all this.
building
like,
Is that
structures.
sexist to say manhole?
I wonder if it
Oh, wait,
is.
parks
Yes.
and trash. Like I actually wanted to see, I'm gonna go into parks and
Is there a
trash.
traffic light one?
Yep, there's a
So I
traffic
want to
light.
report the left turn lane light on VFW Highway heading
Left turn lane.
east
Hold on,
by
I'm
the
gonna
hospital.
I'm gonna put in here by the
Because
hospital.
it's turned so that it's focused on one of the through lanes.
Oh, it got hit or something, or it
Yeah.
got, hung wrong? Okay.
Okay, and at Gage,
That might be a state road though, right?
Might,
So I wonder how that would be, whether they would say, sorry, you have to contact the Commonwealth of. I've been after the Commonwealth for more than a year to get them to replace burned out light bulbs along Mystic Valley Parkway. And the guy, I even called, and the guy was super nice who answered the phone, and he said, I've made a note of it. And so
We've-
it'd be interesting to see if
we've
that's a
got,
state
we've
highway.
got a street down by the Baptist church, 2 lanes heading west.
Okay,
And each lane has its own traffic light. And they both have, the green ball is, for both, has a straight ahead arrow and a right turn arrow.
okay.
Now, if you're in the number 1 lane, do you think that gives you permission to just wheel over and make a right turn in front of the people in the number 2 lane?
no, but people do it all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, the correct answer, no. The reality, the answer on the ground, yes.
When somebody lets you go and the person behind them is so aggravated and they just go, but it's very concerning.
So I reported this to the city, and they actually changed the left light to a straight ahead arrow.
Oh, the left, oh,
Yeah.
so you already did it? Because I was gonna try to help you out with it.
These are nice big donuts, kid.
I
Yeah, they
know.
are.
So,
Ooh, the chocolate glaze, good choice.
this was back when the city manager lived up the street from me, and I said, one of these days, the city manager is going to be going to work.
You're talking about Eileen Donahue?
No,
And they're
before
gonna,
Eileen Donahue.
they're gonna cut her
Who's
off.
the city manager?
I can't remember.
Bill Topier?
Somebody who
No.
lived near Cliff? Is somebody who lived near you?
Someone on Fairmount Street.
Huh.
And anyway, I said, and I'm gonna turn into them and hit their car.
Thanks, Melanie.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm going to explain that the traffic light said I could.
Wait, okay, so
they
is there
changed
still
the
an
light?
issue? Is
What?
there still an issue by Saints, right? Is that?
No, I think it's the main campus, right?
No, I'm sorry, we're talking two different lights.
Oh,
Right, you were talking about an issue that happened a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
And,
down by the Baptist church.
okay, and what was the issue you said to me about, like, the left turning lane? Where's that?
That's on VFW Highway by the road to Saints. I'm sorry, the road to Lowell General.
general.
And the left at what, the McDonald's?
No, before you get to McDonald's,
UMass Lowell?
going the other way,
Oh, okay,
going east.
yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting
sun
to
rises.
get the metrics on,
Yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna capture the metrics on this, but I'm, I'm sure it's, if they had like 1,000 inputs already, it's
Yeah.
a huge, huge success.
Yeah, so one thing I just did too is like there's the one for parks and everything, and you can even take a picture. Like I had taken a picture of the lid from my recycling
Oh,
bin in my
nice.
trash barrel just to show them where the damage was. And so for this one, every time I go around the park, I walk around the park and they usually have doggy bags to clean up doggy poop, which I think is a great thing, right? So I just put in for Gage Park, need more doggy poop pickup bags, right? We'll see what happens, right?
You
And
could have a whole show.
call me and
You
tell
could
me.
be like, the Eileen
Yes.
Delrossi 311 City Life.
I love it.
People could just call in, you could do their.
You tell me. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
There's probably going to be the user-friendly people who do this, and then there's probably going to be the people who just pick up the phone and call their counselors and have them.
Yes. So my Aunt Midge is a frequent caller of City Hall, and she has every number. And so I was so excited about this that I was like, you need to download this because whenever you see a problem, you can just.
Well, I should tell you, I don't know if your aunt is this way, but when I was working in government, all the government numbers were 202, at least in my department, I'm making this up, 234-1000, and then 202-234-1001. And then 202.
I'm sorry, I just have to
234-1002. And there was this woman, a senior woman, who figured this out. And she would just go through all the numbers. And once a day, she must have had like a spreadsheet, like a hand-done spreadsheet, and she would call 202-234-1001. And she got to the point where I was like 1061, and I was waiting and waiting for her to call, Victoria. And she did. And she would just chit-chat with people. That was her version. She was like 90-something. That was her version of, social contact. Because
Yeah.
I'm assuming she couldn't get out much, and she figured out this number that people called, and then she figured out the extensions.
She
So-
should go to the senior center and have lunch.
Yeah, exactly. And
So,
I
Cliff,
just,
I got this on Street View. Is this?
Oh,
this is
clever.
This is McDonald's. Is this the light you're talking about?
I'm sorry, where is McDonald's?
This is Mammoth Road.
Yeah. No,
It's further down.
it's not Mammoth, it's further west. It's the
No,
one
is it-
that,
oh, okay,
it's the
okay,
road
okay.
that goes to Lowell General Hospital.
oh, yeah, there's that
Oh, well, we'll
little,
just travel down the street here, Cliff.
All right.
Don't you
Going by
love Google?
McDonald's.
How'd they figure that all out?
Here we are, motoring along
Yeah?
Bonham Avenue.
Well, this is out of date, 2020.
Well, this is all they
I think they
have.
reconfigured that when they did all that
Okay.
work, right?
Yeah.
Now, are these the lights you're talking about, Cliff?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more.
Yes, I think that's
Go-
different
go
now.
da- Go down just a little further and then turn 180 degrees.
Oh, you want to go from,
The other side,
okay.
the other approach. Look at that, now we're in 2019. We stepped through a portal, John. Oh,
Yep,
2017.
this is yesteryear. Yesteryear.
Look at that, you can just
I have a
transpose
video.
yourself.
Melanie, have you seen the homeless living on the other side?
Of the Merrimack River?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did a drone flight over that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think
Gotta
they're
back
trying to
up
get,
something.
is it MBTA that owns that, I believe? They're trying to get them to come in. The city doesn't have permission, or what do you call it, authority?
Authority.
All right, so what would you like to do about this light, Cliff?
All right.
Oh, I see, yeah, arrow. So it looks like 2 lanes can turn, is that correct?
No. Well, in this case, the left-hand turn light has been
This
twisted.
is 2012, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
has
yeah.
been twisted so that it no longer points straight down the left-hand turn lane, but it points over to one of the through lanes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, interesting, okay.
Well,
Yeah, there
Cliff,
must have been a dump truck or something that
I
hit
have
it.
some
Yeah.
news for you. They're gonna do. It's a state road. Call them.
Yeah,
It's a state road. That's not us. State road. Guaranteed. That's what's gonna happen. And I would tell my manager, call the state for the constituent that reported this mishap. Call the state.
or just get Eileen to get on it for you. Task Eileen, she said she's gonna be our new 311 person.
So, back to the Tesla.
Okay,
Tesla sales fell 13% in the first quarter, and so they delivered about 336,000 cars, which is below what Wall Street had expected. So Elon Musk is losing money, but the other person that's losing money is a U.S. worker. So all these Democrats are putting U.S. workers out of jobs.
well, the Tesla isn't made in the United States, is it? I thought it
Yes,
was,
it's made in California.
it is?
Every
or-
Tesla you see riding around here was made in
Well, they
California.
had production problems too. So from what I'm reading, they're having mechanical or operational or functional problems with the chassis of the car where panels are falling off. They had to recall all 350,000 of them to, not all at once, obviously. You just go into your
Yeah.
Tesla dealer, I guess, and get it glued back on, or however they're going to fix it. But, it does seem like some of that production was ramped up. I don't know, because you hear about recalls all the time. So I don't know how standard it is to have a recall. But certainly, pieces falling off a vehicle is alarming.
Here's a point well put. Is it possible the majority of the reports are from Jay reporting Fairmount Street to 311? Interesting comment.
Is this an inside? I don't get it. What's
Oh,
your-
Jay calls in or texts in at least once a day complaining about the poor condition of Fairmount Street.
Is it in poor condition?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so it needs to be put on the paving list, right? Or is
Yes.
it worse than that?
It's worse than that, but it's doing what Cory Belanger, the city councilor for the district, wants to do, which is he's getting complaints from people on Fairmount saying we need traffic calming. Well, the holes in Fairmount create a certain amount of traffic
There you
calming
go,
already.
that's right. Leave the potholes and you'll get compliance. Is that like a speedway, so it's a straight
Yeah.
road?
So if you're coming down Mansur or any of the other streets from higher up on the hill, and you want to go south, you could go all the way to Nesmith and try and enter the traffic at a stop sign, or you could just go and take a left on Fairmount at a stop sign, but yet there's not a lot of cross traffic. And so Fairmount will take you down to a traffic light in Oakland, and it's quick, and you don't end up sitting there for 2 minutes waiting for traffic to go in the right direction.
So does anybody in this room own a Tesla? Okay, no?
Yes, there's a hand over there.
You do? Wow, and how does it drive?
Actually, it's my wife's car.
Okay, oh, you did mention that at an earlier show.
It's her second Tesla. And she loves it. And someday, I'll take you for a ride in it, and it drives itself.
Oh, that's right, so it was the Tesla company, but it was the Cybertruck where the panels were falling off, right? So I'm getting the two cars,
It's amazing
your
how this car drives itself. It drove us to New York.
so that car, the Tesla, the E-car is fine, right?
Yeah.
So which cars dropped off, the Tesla or the Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck is also Tesla, but yes, that was the one that was having trouble.
So which, what do they call it? Which model had all the models are falling?
No,
in-
just the Cybertruck.
Just the Cybertruck. But which model is having production issues in terms of sales? Like people aren't buying them anymore,
All of them.
All of them? Oh, okay.
We're putting the Democratic Party, in its anger at Elon Musk and Donald Trump, is putting American workers out of work.
Also, the media does not care for Tesla. 'Cause
Thank goodness I don't report on any of
Tesla
that stuff.
does not buy ads. You'll never see a TV ad for a Tesla.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So they're all ticked off.
Yeah, he's-
Toyota buys
well-
ads, Cadillac buys ads. Where's Tesla? Tesla doesn't buy ads.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I wonder if e-cars, because there's also been a lot of news out of the administration that they're going to yank all the charging stations and they're not going to invest in e-charging. Like, the last thing you want to do you have an e-charger on your property?
Yes.
Okay, so you're different, and I see some houses that do that. But I also have neighbors who don't have an e-charger, and they go to the town lot where they have, right behind this dentist or doctor's office.
It's
and-
easy to get the car charged.
City Hall,
Yeah.
you can go to City Hall and charge your car.
Right, that's right. They have those one or two spots, right, where you parked
Two
on
spots,
Thursday.
yeah.
And you can charge your car at the Tesla station up on,
But it's another barrier to entry.
the 99.
So I wonder if e-cars, I had read
Wait,
that.
let's pause on this for a
Okay.
second. We as the taxpayers, elected Congress critters who appropriated, what, $1 billion to put chargers out there? And there's a dozen chargers?
Like what I had read, and this is not timely
Yeah.
information, like 57 or something, which I don't think is correct. I think the money, I don't know if they're talking about, because there's federal, state, local. So in our municipality, there's like, I want to say between 10 and 15 Tesla chargers up by Cross Point, in the parking lot right across the street from Cross Point. So who put those in? It's on a private lot. So
Tesla.
yeah, so maybe Tesla. So there's probably more chargers, but that's private development.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they got federal money to do that, because the feds give money to a lot
I
of
think
people.
Pete Buttigieg
Can I just
messed this one up. Go ahead.
throw one thing in about the 311 system? I already got a response from
Oh, wow.
Jade
They must be
Austin.
watching.
And he said, I just said, need more doggy cleanup bags at Gage Park. And he said, thank you for reaching out to us. The dog waste station at Gage was broken over the winter, and we're working on a resolution. Thank you again.
That does not sound like ChatGPT. That sounds like a real
A
person.
real human being
Yeah.
that knows what was
Answers
going on.
a specific question about a specific location.
Yes. So thank you, Corey and Eric, for really pushing this and making this happen.
Yeah, I think that's been in development or was in development since like 2018. It should be good because they've had a long time to tweak it.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got, Cliff?
Yeah, well, we got a looming real ID deadline coming up.
Oh, yeah, how do you know if you have?
Let me see, I can tell you.
I
if
don't-
yours
I
is
The
haven't.
available.
I
need
thought I had it.
It's
for
the
compliant
emblem.
driver's
Oh,
license
okay.
to fly.
But I think if you got it within the past 5 years, you're
You
good,
did.
right?
It's
Okay, I
when you had
did.
to bring out
No,
the-
not necessarily. My wife's is not good.
I do, I have to go to work because I have to shoot some emails out and stuff.
311
So,
stuff. Yeah.
No, that's gonna be my
You're gonna see
side
her
gig.
car, she's gonna have like a little yellow light, 311 Eileen.
You're-
Eileen, real quick, how the school committee meeting go?
It wasn't, we had a joint facilities meeting on Tuesday where we talked about the issues with Lowell High and some other issues going on, and hopefully that's productive. Ricky Underwood and Paul St. Cyr were there. And additionally, we had the meeting and we talked about a lot of those charges on the finance subcommittee, which were really dated back to September of this year. It's not a month by month, but just a lot of questions in how we determining who we're paying and how much we're paying them, because there were a lot of amounts that were kind of off. Like, why is one person getting this amount, but a person who's servicing maybe a lot more students is getting this amount? And like, what's the process for just paying them? Is it you cut them a check, or is it they're submitting timesheets? Because I think if we want more transparency and accountability, we want them to push, we wanted timesheets. And then the whole thing about the,
So, do you guys have a poll on how long the meeting lasts? Because I wasn't impressed that Jackie Doherty got there late. I dialed in late because I had to pick up my grandson. But I caught it where Jackie wants to ask a question on a previous issue. She just asked a question, and the
yeah, we already
chairman,
talked about that.
Danny Rourke, would not let her.
Right.
And I thought that that was sort of impolite.
I mean, there's a
Procedurally,
lot,
it's proper.
procedurally,
'Cause
yes.
The conversation has already taken place and the vote has, or whatever, I don't know, they've moved off on the agenda. So the fact that she's late, tough luck.
Right, and I know the mayor
Flexibility.
wants to move along the meeting and just
Those meetings used to
procedurally.
go for almost 3 hours and.
Listen, I'm grateful, but
And
like,
you would have people coming in late, not all the time, and they would want a recap of what they missed. And that added another 10 minutes.
you're right. And so,
And-
yes, he's doing things procedurally right, and
Very
it's just,
chop chop.
like, sometimes we get these reports and we have all these things and it's like there are more questions, and like, yes, we do a lot of great things in Lowell, but there's a lot of things in Lowell that need to be refined and talked about, because how do you make a difference if we don't talk about the major issues that we're hearing from our constituents about our kids that go to school in Lowell, safety issues, so forth, and it's just, I get it. I get the governmental process, but it just, why do I have an elected seat if I can't talk about what I'm concerned about?
Well, the thing that slays me is that they send these issues to subcommittee, and the subcommittee talks about it and makes a recommendation, and it's like it never happened. I see that on city council a lot. The subcommittee says, let's say, take ADUs. We support ADUs. I can't even remember how that whole thing went down, but let's just say that the subcommittee says, yes, ADUs are good, and here's our recommendations, and the city council comes in, and as a body, undercuts a lot of that work. So why even meet as a subcommittee? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the main body should accept the recommendations of the, in my opinion, of the subcommittee, because that's who you've delegated that authority to address this issue. And it's
Melanie,
not-
that's never going to fly, because when we vote on something, it's non-binding.
But those subcommittee
So the
members are
non-binding-
elected officials.
The non-binding stuff that goes on the ballot should not be allowed. If the s-
non-bi-
if the s-
oh, 'cause it's
If the state
performative,
of
yeah.
Massachusetts, if we vote to audit the State House, it should not be an option.
Right.
Non-binding.
So so when we're in subcommittee, we say, okay, we'll bring this to the full committee to vote on. And that's, are you saying that that's not happening?
I
or-
think they have a whole nother conversation on your conversation. And then, not specifically
In
the school committee.
subcommittee?
No, the subcommittee has their conversation.
Okay,
We think widget A is the widget of choice for the Lowell Public Schools, let's say. And the subcommittee recommends that to the school body, and some member on the school body says, no, actually, I think that, widget B is better. And then another member says, actually, I think widget C.
yeah, and it gets convoluted.
It gets
And
convoluted,
It
and-
gets muddied down to the point that it gets forgotten about.
Right, and the whole
Okay,
point
I see what you're saying.
of discharging it to the subcommittee or delegating it to the subcommittee is to, I think, efficiencies. You are a smaller body who's going to represent the larger body's interests, and bring it back for consideration, not for a complete redo.
Right.
And oftentimes, I feel, maybe it's just the meetings I'm watching, it's not just school committee, it's city council. The subcommittee comes back with their recommendations, and it's like that process never happened. The whole conversation happens all over again.
Right, and
Uh-oh.
so what's the point? I'm
Right.
getting shooed off.
Oh,
But,
you're shooing her?
yeah.
Shoo, Eileen.
Shoot. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you
You
for
too.
this magnificent.
While she's standing up, John had a point earlier that was being ignored.
Uh-oh, what? John, we are not ignoring
This
you.
would be good for both of you, everybody to learn. If you watch city council or school committee on YouTube, you can back up the live meeting to the beginning.
Yes,
You go to LTC, you go to YouTube, LTC Lowell,
right.
it comes up.
So if a member comes in late, they should go to a penalty box.
Click on the live meeting, and then you can back it up to whatever you want.
Yeah, so there should be like a little listening station in that back cabinet area where whomever is late can put on their headphones and play it at 2 times speed and catch up so they don't waste everybody's time.
So Eileen, have a good time with the Red Sox. She's going to the
yeah.
Red Sox.
Wait, you're going to the game today?
No.
Monday.
It's gonna go Monday.
Oh, take an umbrella.
Oh, it's free, Jared Durant bobblehead.
Oh, nice.
So comment from the audience, then I'm going to do the announcements.
Oh, before you do, I want to finish up on real ID.
Oh, yeah, real ID. So I got to check that.
Just text it over for you.
Do the text and then come back, yeah.
Delicious donuts today. Thanks, Eileen. Have a good weekend. Elon was the darling of the so-called media just a few years ago. The evil orange man strikes again. Respectfully, when he didn't buy TV ads, they dumped him. Back to you, Cliff.
So, real ID. My wife does not have a real ID, and to get a real ID, she has to get a copy of our marriage license when we got married in Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, why?
well, because
They can't take her
birth
existing ID?
name, first marriage, at least I'm not asking for the death certificate, and then second marriage. And she has to present all this information.
Oh, wow.
So
So they're
she,
not leapfrogging,
no,
excuse me, off her existing ID.
right, they're
Oh.
not. So to get the real ID, she has to get all this.
So how's she going to do that? She has to write,
Right, yeah,
The
she tried
records-
one way and it didn't work, so now she has to reach out a different way to the county out in Las Vegas.
oh, okay. Well, I did find that after my dad died, I had to go through, because he was at the VA center out in Brockton, and they were super responsive. Like, I got
Yeah.
those death certificates within, I want to say, if I called on Tuesday, I had them by Friday. They were I was impressed. But I don't know how marriage and
Yeah,
birth certificates work. Maybe it's more complicated.
apparently it is.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I'm sorry
think
she's having that
I
trouble.
have a real ID, she does not, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
You'd think someone who'd been around for a while would not have a problem getting a real ID, but
Right.
it's an issue.
So I want to go back to the Married in Las Vegas. What's that all about, you randy fella? What's,
Well, that's because the Air Force messed up my deployment to Southeast Asia by requiring me to go back to MacDill Air Force Base to participate in shooting a missile.
oh,
And that delayed my departure by a month, and that gave us a chance to go to Las Vegas to get married.
so you went to, what's that chapel called?
I don't know which one we went to.
Oh, okay.
I forget.
Oh, they have more than one?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I'm under a rock. I have no,
So-
I've only read about
So
Las
we
Vegas.
drove up to Wisconsin so I could meet my wife's parents. We flew out to the Southland so my wife could meet my parents, and then we drove to Las Vegas, got married, drove back, flew back,
And then
picked
you
up the
deployed?
kids and drove back to, and then I went to Southeast Asia.
For how long?
That time was about 5.5 months.
Okay,
I had to get 100 missions in North Vietnam,
Wow.
which was
So when's the
pretty easy.
memoir, Cliff? When's the memoir? Come
No,
on, you're
no.
holding out on us.
No.
You're just letting out these drips and drabs every Friday. Like, I want
Nothing
the
really
whole-
interesting.
Okay, we're gonna go off with the announcements now.
Good.
You want an announcement on City Life? Real easy thing to do. Send me a text. That's easy. They send me a text and we'll make it happen. I want to apologize to Danielle McFadden because I wanted to go to her party last night and it completely fell off my radar. So, sorry I missed it. I heard it was a delicious, well-attended event. Sorry I missed it. Now, tonight, Friday, April 4th, Francisco Maldonado is having a party at the Mount Pleasant Golf Club.
Oh, same place. That Mount Pleasant is cleaning up.
It sure is. 141 Staple Street, lovely Lowell, Massachusetts.
That's a nice poster. I like the
And
colors.
if you want more information, he's got a QR code. Oh, press the wrong button there. Not working so well today, Johnny boy. I'm going to close this window. That'll bring it back. Okay. So if you go to this QR code that he has down here, we take out your smartphone, put it in camera mode,
Oh, that's smart.
walk up to the TV set, and that'll bring you to a website. We'll give you more information about, but he's having a party tonight, 7 p.m. at the Mount Pleasant Golf Club. Hope to see you up there. Chelmsford Dog Park, spring work party. They're going to clean up the dog park this weekend. It's 52 Richardson Road in North Chelmsford, April 5th. If it's a lousy day, be April 6th. I think they're both going to be lousy days, but that's okay. Show up with your gloves and ready to work, picking up stuff off the ground.
That's a good point. If there's a rain day and the rain day is a rain day, I guess you just show up, right? You just suck it up and go.
Yep. We need to hear from you. Okay, this is you take your smartphone out of your pocket, and zero in on this with your camera, bring you to a website that asks you a whole bunch of questions about your health needs. So if you want to participate in this,
I like reading their health assessment surveys. They do a really nice job.
moving right along, if you want to volunteer, the easiest thing to do is go to St. Anne's Church this weekend, Saturday, April 5th, at 9 to noon time. And they're going to have a bunch of organizations in there you can volunteer for. So if you got a lot of time on your hands and you want to get involved, head down to St. Anne's Church tomorrow at 9 to noon. Don Plummer, out in delightful Dracut. He's running for selectman out there. And he's having a party Sunday, April 6th, 2 to 4 p.m. at the Tavern on the Line. That's 1794 Bridge Street. So be there or be square. Don Plummer, nice man. Good luck to you, Don. Taste of the Town. Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce is having this nice event where many of the restaurants of the area will be at the Hilton Garden Inn, showcasing their stuff, $30 to get in. You should consider going out there hungry, because you will walk out full. It's a delicious time. I've gone to this a couple of times and always enjoy it. Health Fair in Tewksbury, April 9th, at the Tewksbury Senior Center. Tewksbury Senior Center, when you drive up there, you say, where am I going to park? They have a market basket-sized parking lot behind their building, so just go in the driveway, drive around back, plenty of room. But the Health Fair is going to be April 9th at the Tewksbury Senior Center. If you got some questions about this, you should call Susan Timmons. Her phone number's on the bottom there. I'll shrink this up so you can see it.
I remember you saying that parking lot when I came to an earlier City Life, and I went home and I Googled it, and you're right. It's like a football stadium-sized
gigantic
parking lot.
Nice size. Corey Belanger's having a campaign kickoff party
Okay, he's running. All right.
Thursday, April 10th, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Long Meadow Golf Club, 165 Havilah Street. And that's going to be from 5:30 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, April 10th. If you got $20 or more, he'd appreciate it, but he'd just love to shake your hand. So if you have time, Corey would love to see you at his party on April 10th. Sixto to Jesus, he's having a party. And it's a kickoff campaign, a fundraiser, and I think he's running at large.
I think you're right.
Yes,
And
at large.
So He's having a kickoff party at the Cato Asian Fusion Restaurant in Lowell, 72 Merrimack Street, downtown Lowell. And it's going to be April 10th at 6 p.m. So hope to see you down there. Sexto, a good guy. He's the branch manager of the Enterprise Bank at the end of the connector. Good guy. Easter Bunny pictures with your dog. So you doll your little dog up. You can see a picture of the little dog right here. And they're going to have that at the Chelmsford Dog Park, April 12th, 1 to 3 p.m., 52 Richardson Road, North Chelmsford. Doll up your dog and we'll get some pictures. The Lowell High Job Fair. This is pretty cool. They're having this right in Lowell High School on Thursday, April 17th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at right in the Lowell High School. And so if you're thinking of changing careers, or you have a kiddo at Lowell High School, tell your kiddo to make sure they take a look at this event to find out some more. They want you to register. So just take your smartphone out, take a picture of it, or zero in with the camera, go to the website and get registered. If you want more information, you want to call Colleen Gabriel. They got her email down here, or they got her phone number. So
So that's not just for students, that's for anybody,
my
right?
take is it's for any Tom, Dick, or Mary. So in Middlesex,
Okay.
Middlesex did one, I think 2 weeks ago, in the Tower Building down there. It was pretty
Oh,
cool.
right,
Yes.
right.
So if you're thinking of changing careers, go in there.
Interesting. Oh, Rita's running. All right, Rita.
Rita's having a campaign kickoff party. Re-elect Rita Mercy, a city council at large. Come and join me at the Bunting Club. Friday, April 18th, 6 to 9 p.m. This is a party you want to go to hungry, because she has a buffet like nobody
She
ever
has
saw.
the lowest donation so far.
Yep. And,
Very practical, that one.
So that's it. Go
I'm
back-
glad to hear it because I was just going to text her because the city posted Women's History Month and put a little profile up
Yeah.
on her, and it made it sound like she wasn't going to run. And at least the way I read it. And I was going to text her and say, Rita, is there something, should I be writing a
My
different kind of
takeaway
story?
from Rita, she wants to be mayor one more time. And she wants to run. She wants to be the mayor. And then she'll retire from
Oh,
Lowell
she's been the mayor.
politics.
She wants to be it again?
She
Yeah.
wants to go out one more time.
Wow.
So that's my take. You have
She
to
talked to
ask
Danny
her.
Rourke about that? I'm not, he does a nice
Danny
job.
Rourke, the rumor is, and Danny's coming in next week, that he wants to do it again.
Yeah, sure. He's good at it.
I go back to Bud Caulfield, and Bud Caulfield, he was a longtime political guy in Lowell, and he was mayor. And he said, John, the hardest thing to do is to get off the mayor horse. Because you get so addicted to that limelight. Your
It's a lot of
phone
work,
is
though.
lighting up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's hard. He says, it was real easy to say, I'm going to run again. I had to push myself back and say, no. Let somebody else do it.
In Lowell, historically, do people run for, is it one and done with mayor, or do they re-up and re-up and re-up, or how does,
The
what's
city
your?
council elects
Right,
their fearless leader, and the phone calls start election night.
right.
Because I usually go over to Top Donut, where Rita has her party, and other city councilors pop in, and their phone is ringing, who do they want to vote for mayor?
Oh, already,
And
yeah.
the guy, so say for instance, you're elected and you want to be mayor, you call everybody and say, will you vote for me? Will you vote for me?
Okay.
It's election night.
Well, in your experience, do they repeat? Like, is it likely that Danny would, I'm not speaking for Danny, I'm just,
Eileen Donahue in recent times, is the only one I know
Who
that got to be mayor twice.
back to back.
There sure are a lot of pictures of mayors in City Hall.
There are, in every
We've
nook
had
and
a lot.
cranny.
Yeah,
Well, you don't get two pictures.
Oh, is that right?
You only get one picture.
but even so, there's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, I was up
Yeah.
there taking pictures of the doorways. Sometimes
Yeah.
when we don't have good art, I'll just do the doorway that says,
Yeah.
treasurer. And I was looking at all they are like all the way around the corner. They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
right next to each other. I saw the infamous portrait, which is really a photograph of Patrick, what's his last name?
Murphy.
Murphy. I didn't mind
Patrick
it.
O. Murphy.
Patrick O. Murphy.
Not the O is his middle name.
Right. How do you say his middle name? Do you know?
No.
But I thought, well, I remember reading the stories about that, but don't
I
know,
wish
that word-
Patrick well. I'm glad he's gone.
Oh, well, there you go. This is before my time, so I don't have to weigh in. All right,
So,
Cliff, bring us home. What else you
So-
got?
there we are. I wanted to whine about the school committee again. They had this report on teaching history, and they say that the program highlights the unique contributions of various cultures at all levels. And I thought, well, that's just wonderful. But I thought what it should have said, focus has been on understanding the foundation of our system, individual freedom, economic freedom, government balance of power. So the students would have some basis for participating in government. I felt like they missed it. That we need to understand where did we come from so we can understand where we're going. And that means we need to focus a little bit on Massachusetts Bay Colony and how we evolved and what happened in Virginia and how they went from being able to buy your way out of slavery into lifetime slavery and how that evolved and how it all clashed, and then how we've gone forward from them.
So great show today. Have a good weekend. Not showing the donuts today. I'm sorry you missed that. I did showcase the donut for just a moment. Melanie
Before it
brought-
was devoured.
Melanie brought donuts in, and so did Eileen. So it's been a wonderful donut.
It's going to be a calorie-laden morning.
So,
Well, thank you for that from your viewer.
tomorrow is supposed to be hands-off day. Are we having a color revolution?
What does that mean? What does hands-off mean?
They want Elon Musk and Donald Trump to take his hands off the government.
Oh, those protests. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a protest here in Lowell from 11 to 1, but on the internet, they wouldn't release where it was. You had to
Oh, you have to
sign in
Right,
to
before
get
they give
the,
you the,
and there'll be one in Chelmsford.
I think there's one downtown, too, in Boston.
Yeah, oh, of course, there'll be, the Chelsea is 3 to 4 on the town common on North Road.
So you can just go from one to the other, is what you're saying. You
Right.
can just-
A little message to you, Melanie. You can get pictures of graffiti art under the connector just past the 3 illegal campers on the connector park trail.
You know, I'm interested to know that because I was looking for that. Someone had sent me,
Oh, we have video.
yeah, show me.
I'll get the video.
Because someone had also sent me by Cross Point at the end of that parking lot, and I went out there and I couldn't find anything. So this is the perfect time to look because the trees are still bare and it's pretty easy to I spy them. I must have been in the wrong parking lot or the wrong exit or whatever.
I got a question for you, Melanie.
All right.
I saw a brilliant suggestion that there should be on Monday or Tuesday a counterpoint to the column where people could
Oh, I passed
email
along.
in.
I passed along that suggestion. You weren't the only one.
Oh, I was not the only one?
You were not the only one. So I passed it along, so, to our editorial staff, so we'll see where that goes. We've been running a lot more, if you've noticed on the edit page,
Yeah.
on the opinion page, we've been plugging in a lot more individual letters. We used to run like one big letter from one person.
Yeah.
But and sometimes it was because we didn't have enough contributions. It wasn't a big news week
Yeah.
or whatever. But lately, we've been really inundated, which is a good thing, with letters, so you'll notice that. So that's a good place to continue to, but I did forward those ideas up the chain.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
I have an inside track. People just emailed me directly, so I love that give and take. Oh, say,
Is Peter irritated that I include him on the email?
I don't think so. I don't think he's as chatty as I am, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I told him he should come on City Life.
So,
Is this your drone?
yes.
I am
I-
impressed, John.
I went in the Target parking lot,
Okay, Target. All right, I see where I am, yeah. Uh-huh.
and you drive as far as you possibly can towards Chelmsford in the Target parking lot.
In the Target parking lot. Okay, I
And
might do that on my
eventually
way
you run
home.
out of Hot Top, and you're going to see right here, there's a little trail.
Oh, yeah. That just opened like a year ago, right?
Here's Cross Point.
Yeah.
Jarvis Car Enterprises over here. And
By the way, I just talked to Peter Jarvis the other day because I'm doing a story about Alternative House, and he basically underwrites their space as a donation, a very generous and charitable donation, and nice guy. I've never talked to him before.
The Jarvis family. is
Yeah.
a nice family.
Just very, we had a great conversation with him. So a shout out to the Peter Jarvis and his family,
Yeah, nice guy.
taking care of Lowell.
Here's
All right,
the-
so there's the
here's
connect.
trailers they're talking about.
Oh, yes. Wow, trailers. How'd they get those there?
I don't know, you're gonna see a guy coming walking out of this trailer. He just walked out of this trailer. This guy right here.
Wow, and there's a little shack?
Here's the boat.
Okay, I am intrigued. I appreciate this. I'm always, wow. And this is current?
Yep.
Yeah. This
Right
is,
by the wetland, uh-huh.
4 days ago. There's the trash.
Where do
So-
you park when you throw up your drone like that? Do you just park in the
I
parking lot?
park in the parking lot.
What kind of range does it have?
It comes home. If it flies out of range, it comes back to me.
Really?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So, hey, we're out
So
of time.
basically, the people moved from the Plain Street camp, which they cleared like 2 years ago now, and moved over here.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, City Life Show, and look at my videos, there's a whole bunch of
Okay,
homeless camps.
I will.
So Cliff, you give you the last word, time is shot.
You always get the last
Everyone,
word.
everyone have a good weekend, and I'll see you Monday.
Have a dry, I hope, today's the dry day,
Yeah.
but then it's rain for the next 4 or 5 days. But we
4
need it,
days.
so we can't complain, right?
Right. It's
All
all
right.
part of the cycle of life.
Exactly.
Say goodbye, kids.
All right, have a good weekend.
So